to Channel StageONE. I am Allison Sims and I am the prop master here at StageONE. And right now we are currently in the production studio where we make all of our beautiful costumes and sets, and we have a lot of fun here, and we get to create things that you get to come see live in person at a theater. So today we are going to be making a really cool activity. We are going to attempt to tie-dye with food coloring. I think this is a really fun activity. You probably have food coloring at your house, but maybe you don't have some stuff to make tie-dye. So this is a really fun activity that you can do outside when it's beautiful out, because you're gonna get a little messy. That's why I'm in my apron. So this is a great activity for kids because you really can't mess this up too much. So the first thing we're gonna do is we have to pre-soak your shirt in a mixture of water and vinegar so that your the food coloring will really soak into the t-shirt. So the first thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna get a measuring cup, and I'm gonna start with a cup of water. There's a cup of water. I'm gonna pour it into my bowl. And then this is a 1-to-1 ratio. So however much water I just put in my bowl, I need to use the same amount of water. I need to use the same amount of vinegar, excuse me, I misspoke. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour. The next thing is of a cup of vinegar. There we go. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour that in. And then now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my t-shirt, which I'm using a kid's t-shirt. So I'm gonna go ahead and just soak this and saturate it all the way into my mixture. And I'm gonna kind of push it down so that it gets fully immersed in the water, in the mixture. Now, I know some people do not like the smell of vinegar, but I happen to love the smell of vinegar because it reminds me of dyeing Easter eggs with my family, and I always had such fun doing that. So this is really, these are hitting my nostrils and it's smelling good to me because it's making me think of my family. So we want to make sure that this is fully submerged, so I'm going to actually add some more water and some more vinegar. So when I'm adding more, however much more you add of one thing, you have to add the same amount of the other. So I'm going to add another 1/4 of a cup of water and then I'm going to add another 1/4 cup of vinegar. All right, that's a 1/4 cup of water, and I'm going to go ahead and pour a 1/4 cup of vinegar. All right, that's a 1/4 cup of vinegar, and I'm going to pour that in. So now I'm gonna go ahead and set this bowl to the side because this mixture, this t-shirt needs to sit for about an hour. I've let this other t-shirt sit a little longer than that. So I think the longer it sits in the vinegar, probably the more saturated it will become with the food coloring. So that's really up to you about how long you want it to let it sit. I've probably had it sitting for about 3 hours. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this shirt that I've had sitting and soaking out of the mixture, and I'm gonna just wring it out. I'm gonna try to get all of the excess water out of it. Like I said, this is a kind of a perfect craft or an activity to be outside because there's water and it's just kind of maybe gonna get everywhere. If you can't go outside, but you're still determined to do this activity, you could maybe get a pan, like a baking pan that has all 4 edges that are up, and then you could make your t-shirt inside there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and sort of just lay this t-shirt out, prepared to make it into different designs. So we're gonna go ahead and make our mixture of food coloring. So what I'm gonna do is, a lot of times when you buy like a homemade, or when you buy a kit for, tie-dyeing, it comes with a squirt bottle, and we probably don't have squirt bottles sitting around our home. If you do, great, go ahead and use it. If you don't, we're gonna make a squirt bottle. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my water back, and I'm gonna pour 1 full cup into my water bottle. So I'm gonna go ahead and measure out the water. All right, that's a cup of water. And to get it into my water bottle, I have a funnel. If you do not have a funnel at home, you could grab some like tin foil and spin it and make a funnel, and you just tape it and then put it in, and you've got yourself a homemade funnel. But I have a funnel, so this is what I'm gonna use. I'm gonna pour my cup in, And when you're using a funnel, you want to kind of pour it slowly because it'll back up and then it'll spill out. So you just want to do a nice pour, a nice slow pour into the water bottle. The next thing we're going to do is you're going to grab your food dye, and I'm going to use a green, and I'm going to make a green and a yellow t-shirt. So I've got my food dye, my food coloring, and we're going to drop 8 drops of the food coloring. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's it. I almost did 10, but we only need 8. So I'm going to put the lid back on of my water bottle, and I'm going to mix the whole thing. So you're just going to sit and mix it till you get this nice, beautiful, saturated color. So we've got this gray color, and we're going to make a squirt bottle out of this. So with an adult who's with you, you're going to take a push pin of some kind, and you're going to push it in through the lid of your bottle. Just right in the center. So I have a little push pin. Maybe you could use an ice pick if you can't find a push pin. Oops. And so we're just going to push it on in to make a squirt bottle. Here we go. There we go. So I got it in. I'm going to take it out. So now we have our dye. I have already pre-made the yellow dye, so it's sitting right here and it's ready to go. All right, there we go. So now I've got my yellow and my green ready to go. And so I'm going to go ahead and fold up. If you've ever tie-dyed before, you know that there's a ton of different ways to make designs on your tie-dye. So you can do like kind of the most iconic, which is the spiral, which you just take these 3 fingers and you just sort of pinch the shirt and rotate your hands. So you just sort of start rotating in, and you're gonna rotate the whole t-shirt in, and then you tuck the sleeves in and kind of make a little circle, and then you take your rubber bands and you tie it around, and then that's your spiral. Another way that you can fold in your t-shirt is you can do like the accordion or the fan. So you flip it away from you, then you grab the whole thing and flip it towards you. And then you flip the whole thing away from you, and then you flip the whole thing towards you. And then you flip the away from you, and you flip the whole thing towards you. So you got this nice long line. Again, you grab rubber bands and kind of you section it into like 3 or 4 sections. But today, what the t-shirt I want to make is I want to make it green with like yellow polka dots. So how you do that is just sporadically, you grab a section of the t-shirt and you pull straight up, you pinch it with your pointer finger and your thumb, and then you grab your your rubber band, and you tie those off. And you kind of just do it all sort of randomly and sporadically around the t-shirt. Maybe you don't have rubber bands. Sometimes when I've tie-dyed before, I just literally leave my t-shirt out straight flat, and I just make the designs with the squirt bottle instead of like letting it, instead of, tying it up. So that's something to do maybe if you don't have rubber bands at your house. I don't know what you have at your house. So a lot of what we're doing is about you adapting and having fun. Because like so many things, there's absolutely no wrong answers. You can't really mess something up because there's no right or wrong. You're just making things for fun. All right, so I've got my whole t-shirt now tied up the way I like it. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in with my green dye, and I'm gonna do everything but the like actual circles. So that's really nice and saturated, and then I'll go in with my yellow to do my circles. So ready? We've got a squirt bottle so I can really make it directional of where I want things to go. And it should work just like a squirt bottle, at least it is for me. Once again, my table is meant to get dirty, but the table you're working on is probably not. So this is why this is such a great activity to take outside. so that if it gets a little dirty, it can just wash away with probably a hose. Or again, if you use like a baking pan, it'll catch all of that liquid. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip this like over so I can do the back side. Gonna get it nice and wet and saturated. And now I flipped it back over, and I still should have these like white spots that I'm gonna go in with my yellow dye and just do those kind of like areas. And again, because we've made the squirt bottles, I can be really directional with where it needs to go. All right. So that is tie-dyeing with food color. The last thing I'm gonna do is I have a Ziploc bag right here, and I'm just gonna slide the whole of my t-shirt in. I'm gonna let it sit overnight. Hi guys, it's the next day after our tie-dyeing, and I have my tie-dye t-shirt right here, and I'm gonna go ahead and pull it out of my Ziploc bag. I'm gonna put it right into this bowl, and I'm gonna start taking all of my rubber bands off. So I've let this soak overnight so that the colors can get really saturated. And I can still smell that vinegar. And now what I'm gonna do is after I get the rubber bands off, I'm gonna go ahead and like squeeze the whole shirt out so I can get a lot of the saturation of the liquids off, because after this, we're gonna take another break and I'm gonna throw this in the dryer so we can really see a good reveal of the whole shirt. But yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and squeeze all of the excess liquid out so that it'll have a fighting chance in the dryer to dry kind of quicker. All right. So we will be back shortly after I pop this in the dryer and let it dry for a little bit for the whole shirt reveal. So excited. Thanks, guys. All right, hi guys. I have put my tie-dye t-shirt back into the dryer to let it dry a little bit. And I wanted to be really honest with you guys. When I pulled it out of the dryer, the yellow wasn't really, you know, popping as much. So I went back with my food dye and I made a bit more of a concentrated liquid of the yellow. So I put, instead of 8 drops, I put like, you know, almost 20 drops of yellow into my water. And I really made it a deep, deep yellow so it really could pop, because I really wanted you to be able to see it on screen. So if you look here, you can see that it does pop, and then I've thrown it back into the dryer so my shirt is dry. But I think it looks great. I've had so much fun making this tie-dyed craft. I really like the like spots of yellow. It just really reminds me of spring, and I was so excited to make this shirt. I want to thank you guys today for joining us at Channel StageONE. Tune in right here tomorrow for another Storytellers, which is our interactive theater. We are creating fun and fresh content all week long. So please, if you like what you see, follow the link below and donate, because we believe theater's for everyone and we want everyone to be able to access our theater. Thank you guys so much. I can't wait to see the pictures of you guys in your tie-dye t-shirts. So please, please, please make sure you show us, and have a great rest of your week. Bye guys.